Hypertext markup language, also known as HTML, is the fundamental building block for all web pages. It is one of the many technologies that one needs to learn to master the art of web development. Other technologies that are involved in web and software development are cascading style sheets, CSS, JavaScript, structured query language, Ruby, to mention a few, and we're not going to be getting into those here. We are just going to be talking about HTML. Now, web and software development stacks such as Ruby on Rails, Node.js, Django, Ruby on Rails for Ruby, Node.js for JavaScript, Django for Python, are used to put all of the above together to help build web and software applications. It makes the work much easier. So developers are able to build interfaces and databases using these stacks. And way down the line, we'll be talking about stacks. My choice of stack is Ruby on Rails, and we'll be working with Ruby on Rails later on. To help master all this, it's important to divide everything up to single subjects. That way, when the time comes to troubleshoot and debug, which is something that we're going to be running into all the time, debugging is just the part of life. It's a part of web development, software development. It makes it much easier to identify where the problem is coming from, which technology is causing this bug, which technology is this error message coming from. Is it coming from CSS, JavaScript, structured query language, Ruby, and so forth? So by breaking things out, dividing these technologies into subjects, we are able to make the life of debugging and building and understanding web software development much easier. Now let's get started. I'm sure you can't wait with the baby steps and learn some HTML. As you can see, I am at JS bin. So you need to have internet connection. So type in jsbin.com, and then you should have an HTML boilerplate. So that's an HTML boilerplate here. If you are familiar with this, this is not for you. This is really for someone who is brand new and getting started and just wants to get their feet wet. You don't want to install anything. You don't want to buy anything. You just want to get a taste of what it's like to write some code. We're going to start with these baby steps here. So let me just talk about what this boilerplate is all about. At the top there, now all HTML has opening, most of it, opening and closing tags. You see here it says HTML, that's opening, and the closing tags always have a /. Not all of HTML has closing tags, but most of them does. We'll talk about, and I'll give you an example of one that does not have a closing tag. So doc type, what is doc type? So the doc type tells the browser that the document being rendered is HTML. That's what it does. The next one, HTML, you see we have an opening tag here, HTML opening tag, and all it does, it tells the browser that all HTML starts here, and where does it end? Gets. It ends there, right, at the closing tag. Next, we have the head, and inside the head we have things like titles. It's for general information, for scripts and style sheets. Next, we have the meta, and what is meta? Meta, these are tags that they don't appear on the page. They are snippets of text that describe the page's contents. Next, we have the title of our page, which usually shows up at the top here. Here's an example of a title. It shows up at the top here. Okay. And then we have the closing tag of the head, the opening tag of the body, the closing tag of the body. Now, let's talk about the body. What is in the body? What is the body? All content, that's what it says. It tells the browser that, hey, all the content within this opening and closing tag, opening and closing tag, all content here is going to be shown in the browser. Guess you're ready to write some code, right? Let's start with heading. Headings are numbered from 1 through 6. So headings, you just have an H and then a number. That's our opening tag. Now we're going to close it. Okay, the reason why I like to close it right away is so that I have the tendency of forgetting to close it, and it saves me time later because I don't want to be looking for where this bug might be coming from. So I open it and close it right away, and then I'm just going to say this is my home page. As you can see on the right, as we type, we can see, let me correct that spelling of home. This is my home page. You see the output here shows what we're typing. That's a good thing about using a tool like JSBin. You get output right away. We didn't have to install anything. We didn't have to buy anything. We can just test out and write some code right away. So we have our main heading here, and like I said, H1 through 6. Now let's try an H5. And we can even copy this because we typed already. Let's just copy that, paste it there, save us some time. One thing you're going to be learning is the art of not repeating yourself. You do not want to be repeating yourself. There's just so much time you could save by doing what I just did. So we just copied the H1, pasted it down here. We changed the size of the heading to H5. Let's make it H5. If you look on the right, you will see the sizes change as we change and match up the tags. So now we're at an H5. You see how small it is. Then let's just call this my subheading. Okay, it's my subheading. So we have our headings there. Those are heading tags. Next, let's write a paragraph. And for a paragraph, we just need an opening and closing tag with a P in it. So here's the opening. And then the closing, don't forget the /, put a P there, and it's complete. Now we can just, this is my first paragraph. Okay. So, and it shows up here. Like I had promised, I was going to show you a tag that does not close. And this is the horizontal rule, HR. Okay. So as you can see right here, it drew a horizontal line. Okay, so these tags here, the opening, the closing tags, you need to have that in most of HTML. You see that we have the opening tag and we have the closing tags, but a few of these tags do not have a closing, and we can learn more about them, and I'll show you where to go to learn more about an HTML, do a little tutorial, and so forth. Now, I hope this was helpful. If you want to learn a little more, you can go to my blog, which is code47, KODE47.com. Click on blogs, and then you will notice that I have a Hypertext markup language blog there. If you click on it, you can learn more about what we just read a little more about what we learned. And if you want to dive in deeper, you can go to this link here, MDN web docs, click on it, and then you can go through the HTML tutorial. Again, I hope this was helpful. I will see you next time. Goodbye.